Hello, little dreamers. I'm Luna. Welcome to Luna Bedtime Story. Tonight, we'll journey into a world of gentle adventures, kind hearts, and peaceful dreams. If you'd like a new bedtime story waiting for you every week, don't forget to subscribe and join our cozy little family. Now, get comfortable, snuggle into your favorite blanket, and let's take 3 slow, deep breaths together. Breathe in and breathe out. Again. Breathe in and breathe out. One last time. Breathe in and breathe out. Let your shoulders relax. Close your eyes. Let's begin our story.
The Whispering River, Chapter 1. The Voice in the Water. In a green valley, between 2 gentle hills, there was a wide and shining river. The river flowed past tall trees, soft meadows, and a little village with red roofs. In the morning, it sparkled like a silver ribbon. At night, it held the moon in its dark blue water. An otter named Olli lived beside the river. Olli had smooth brown fur, bright black eyes, and long whiskers. They shook whenever he was excited. He was young, curious, and full of questions. Why did the moon follow him when he swam? Why did stones become round? Where did the river go after it passed the village? His mother often smiled. The river knows many things, Olli. It has traveled farther than any of us. Olli loved those words. Every day he played in the water. He slid down muddy banks. He chased silver fish. He floated on his back and watched white clouds drift across the sky. But Olli liked the river best at night. When the stars came out, the water became calm. The frogs sang slow songs. The reeds moved gently in the wind. The whole valley seemed to breathe in and out. One night, Olli could not sleep. His little bed of dry grass felt too warm. He rolled onto one side, then he rolled onto the other. He covered his ears with his paws, but the crickets seemed louder than ever. At last, Olli climbed out of his den. The moon was full and golden. It made a bright path across the river. Olli stepped into the cool water. He swam to his favorite stone. It was large and flat. It stood in the middle of the river. He climbed onto it and shook the water from his fur. For a while he listened to the night. Then he heard something strange. It was not a frog. It was not a bird. It was not the wind in the trees. It sounded like a small voice under the water. "Warm bread?" the voice whispered. Olli looked around. "Who said that?" he asked. No one answered. Olli leaned closer to the river. The water touched the edge of the stone. "Warm bread?" it whispered again. "A yellow kitchen. Flour on a little nose." Olli's whiskers stood straight out. He lowered one paw into the water. A warm feeling moved through him. For one short moment, Olli saw a kitchen. Sunlight came through a window. A little girl stood beside an old woman. They laughed as a loaf of bread rose in the oven. Then the picture was gone. Olli pulled his paw from the river. His heart beat quickly, but he was not afraid. The feeling in the water was happy. "What was that?" he whispered. The river moved around the stone. "A memory," it answered. Olli became very still. He had always been told that the river knew many things. Now, he knew it could speak. The river could speak. "Whose memory?" he asked. The river gave a quiet sigh. "Someone has forgotten." The water carried a second whisper past Olli's stone. "A red kite," it said. "A windy hill, a father's strong hand." Then came another, a song by the fire, a blue ribbon, a puppy asleep in a basket. Olli looked into the moonlit water. Small lights were moving below the surface. Some were gold, some were blue, some were soft pink or pale green. They turned and twirled like tiny stars. "Are all of those memories?" Olli asked. "Yes," said the river. "They are happy memories that have been forgotten." Olli watched the lights drift past him. "Why are they here?" People lose memories in many ways, the river said. Some fade with time, some hide behind sadness. I catch them and carry them. Where do you take it? The river was silent for a moment. I carry it until someone listens. Olli looked down at his small paws. Can I listen? You already have. Can I help return the memories? The moon's reflection trembled on the water. The journey may be long, said the river. Some memories are easy to return, others are hidden behind heavy feelings. Olli took a deep breath. He thought about the warm kitchen and the little girl with flour on her nose. Somewhere, that girl had forgotten a happy day. I want to help, he said. The water rose gently around the stone and touched his paws. Listen with kindness, the river whispered. Do not force it to wake. Carry it softly. Give it time. A golden light floated near the surface. Olli reached into the water and held out his paws. The light rested between them. It was warm. Olli saw the yellow kitchen, the old woman, and the girl. This time he also saw a red door and white flowers. The owner is near. The owner is near, said the river. Olli looked toward the sleeping village. He carefully held the light against his chest. I will find her, he promised. Above him, the moon shone brightly. Below him, the river whispered many forgotten joys. And so Olli's first journey began. Chapter 2. The baker and the golden memory. Olli followed the river toward the village. The golden memory floated beside him. It glowed softly, like a candle behind thin paper. Olli swam slowly. He did not want the bubble to break. When he reached the village bridge, he climbed onto the bank. The village was quiet. Doors were closed. Curtains covered the windows. Only a few lamps were still burning. Olli looked for a red door and white flowers. He walked past a house with a blue door. He passed a barn with a black gate. He passed a tiny shop with green walls. At last, he found a small house beside a bakery. Its door was red. White flowers grew under the window. This must be the place, Olli whispered. The smell of bread came from the bakery. It was warm and sweet, even in the middle of the night. Olli tapped on the red door. There was no answer. He tapped again. After a moment, the door opened. An old woman stood there. She held a lamp in one hand. Her silver hair was tied in a loose knot. She looked down at Olli. Well, she said, I have had birds at my window and cats on my roof, but I have never had an otter at my door. I'm sorry to wake you, said Olli. The old woman blinked. You can speak. Yes, said Olli. My name is Olli. I have brought something that may be yours. The golden bubble floated forward. The old woman stared at it. What is that? A happy memory. Her face became sad. I do not have many of those left, she said. Olli remembered the river's words. Do not force it to wake. Carry it softly. Give it time. May I come in? He asked. The old woman stepped aside. Her name was Mara. She owned the village bakery. Years ago, she had baked bread with her daughter Lila. Now Lila lived far away beyond the hills. Mara still baked bread, but she did it alone. The kitchen was yellow, just as Olli had seen in the memory. A wooden bowl sat on the table. Bags of flour stood near the wall. The oven was cold, but the room still smelled of warm bread. Olli placed the golden bubble on the table. Mara sat beside it. I think this memory is yours, Olli said. You were here with a little girl. You both had flour on your noses. Mara shook her head. I cannot remember it. That is all right, Olli said. We can wait. The bubble glowed. Mara leaned closer. Inside the bubble, a tiny picture began to move. A little girl stood on a chair beside the table. She pushed both hands into a pile of flour. A white cloud flew into the air. The old woman in the picture coughed. Then the little girl laughed. The old woman began to laugh too. Mara touched her mouth. That was Lila, she whispered. The golden light grew brighter. I had forgotten her little red shoes, Mara said. She always wore them in the kitchen, even when one of them had a hole. The picture changed. Little Lila tried to shape a loaf of bread. The loaf came out long, thin, and bent. It looks like a river snake, she said. Mara laughed. The sound filled the quiet kitchen. Olli felt his heart grow warm. "I remember," Mara cried. "We baked the snake loaf. It was the worst bread we ever made. I thought that day was gone." She laughed again, and happy tears appeared in her eyes. The golden bubble opened like a flower. Its warm light flowed into Mara's chest. For a moment, the whole kitchen shone. Mara closed her eyes. When she opened them, her face looked softer and younger. "Thank you," she told Olli. "I thought that day was gone." "The river kept it safe," Olli said. Mara stood and walked to a shelf. She took down a small wooden box. Inside was a red ribbon, an old spoon, and a picture of Lila. "I stopped looking in this box," Mara said. "It made me feel lonely. But now I remember that love can feel warm even when someone is far away." She found a piece of paper and began to write a letter. "What are you doing?" Olli asked. "I am asking Lila to visit. We can bake another river snake." Olli smiled. Mara gave him a small round loaf for his journey. It was still warm from the evening fire. When Olli left the bakery, the sky was turning pale. He carried the loaf to the river and broke off a piece. The river whispered below him. "One memory has returned. Will there be more?" Olli asked. The water filled with tiny lights. Many more. A blue light rose near the bank. It carried the sound of bells, the smell of pine trees, and the feeling of a small hand holding a larger one. Olli gently gathered it. Then he followed the river toward the hills. Chapter 3. The bell in the woods, the blue memory led Olli away from the village. It floated over the river like a firefly. When Olli took a wrong path, the light dimmed. When he turned the right way, it shone again. Olli followed it into a pine forest. The trees were tall and dark. Their branches made a roof. Only thin lines of morning light reached the ground. The forest smelled of wet earth and pine needles. The blue memory carried the gentle sound of a bell. Ring. Pause. Ring. Olli walked deeper into the woods. Soon he heard a real bell. Ring. Pause. Ring. He followed the sound to a small clearing. An old gray goat stood beside a fallen tree. A little bell hung from a red cord around her neck. An old gray goat stood beside a fallen tree. A little bell hung from a red cord around her neck. She was searching through the grass. "Good morning," Olli said. The goat looked up. "Have you seen a silver button?" she asked. "No," Olli replied, "but I can help you look." "It fell from my winter coat," said the goat. "It belonged to someone important." They searched under leaves, beside roots, and between stones. Olli found a smooth pebble, 2 acorn caps, and a blue feather. He did not find the button. At last, the goat sat down. "It is no use," she said. "Things always disappear." Olli looked at the blue memory. It was glowing near the bell around her neck. "Is your name Tessa?" he asked. The goat looked surprised. "Yes, how did you know?" "The river brought me something that may belong to you." Olli held out his paws. The blue light floated toward Tessa. She stepped back. "I do not want river magic." "It will not hurt you," Olli said. "Memories can hurt." Olli sat beside the fallen tree. "Yes," he said, "sometimes they can." Tessa watched him with careful eyes. Olli did not move closer. After a while, Tessa sat beside him. "My brother gave me this bell," she said. "His name was Tomas. We walked through these woods when we were young." "Where is he now?" Olli asked. "He went to live beyond the mountains. That was many years ago." "Do you miss him?" "So much that I stopped thinking about him." Memories can hurt, Olli understood. Perhaps the happy memory had hidden behind that sadness. "You do not have to touch the light," he said. "We can only listen." The blue memory hovered between them. Ring, pause, ring. Tessa's own bell answered. Ring. The forest became very still. A picture formed inside the light. 2 young goats walked through deep snow. One wore a red scarf. The other wore a green coat with silver buttons. They were tied together by a long rope. Tessa stared at the picture. "That winter," she whispered, In the memory, young Tessa slipped on the snow. Tomas caught her before she fell into a ditch. She began to laugh. "You look like a dancing tree," she told him. Tomas laughed too. They walked on, ringing their bells so they would not lose each other in the snow. Tessa closed her eyes. "I remember his song," she said. Very softly, she began to hum. It was a simple tune with only a few notes. The sound moved through the pine trees. Then another sound came from the far end of the clearing. Someone else was humming the same tune. Tessa stopped. A white goat stepped between the trees. He was old and he wore a faded red scarf. "Tomas?" Tessa whispered. The white goat stared at her. "Tessa?" For a moment, neither of them moved. Then they ran toward each other. Their bells rang wildly. Tessa laughed and cried as she pressed her face against her brother's neck. "I came back to find you," Tomas said. "I followed the river. Then I heard our song." The blue memory opened. Its light wrapped around both goats and slowly faded into them. Olli turned away to give them a quiet moment. Near the fallen tree, something shone under a brown leaf. Olli lifted the leaf. There was the missing silver button. He carried it to Tessa. She held it carefully. "This came from the green coat," she said. "The one in the memory." Tomas smiled. "You still have it?" "I only forgot where I had placed the joy," she said. Tessa and Tomas thanked Olli. They invited him to share a breakfast of apples and sweet grass. Olli ate the apples but politely left the grass for the goats. Before he returned to the river, Tessa gave him the blue feather he had found. "For luck," she said. Olli tucked it behind one ear. As he walked away, he heard their bells and their happy voices behind him. At the riverbank, the water spoke again. "You waited with kindness." "She was afraid," Olli said. "Many hearts are afraid to remember," said the river. "A gentle friend does not push open a closed door. A gentle friend waits beside it." The water lifted a pale green light to the surface. Inside it, Olli heard children laughing and the soft beat of rain on a roof. He took the memory in his paws. The river pointed him toward the meadow. Chapter 4. The house that had forgotten laughter beyond the pine forest stood a lonely house. Its walls were white, but the paint had faded. Tall grass covered the path. The garden gate moved in the wind. The pale green memory floated toward the house. Olli followed it through the grass. He heard no voices inside. He heard no music. He only heard the slow tap of a loose branch against a window. Olli knocked on the door. A hedgehog opened it. He was small and round, with a gray face and tired eyes. "Good morning," Olli said. "My name is Olli." "I am Bram," said the hedgehog. "If you are selling berries, I do not need any. I am not selling berries." "Brushes?" "No." "Blue socks?" "No." Bram sighed. "Then what do you want?" "I think the river found something from this house." The pale green light floated over Olli's head. Bram stared at it. "I do not like strange lights," he said. He began to close the door. Then the memory made a sound. A child laughed. Bram stopped. The door remained half open. "Who was that?" he whispered. "I do not know," Olli said, "but I think you do." Bram slowly led him inside. The rooms were dark. Curtains covered the windows. Chairs stood under white sheets. A clock ticked on the wall. Bram lived alone. Long ago, his house had been full of family. His children had played in every room. Later, they grew up and moved away. Bram had closed one room after another. "It is easier to keep things quiet," he said. The pale green memory drifted down a hallway. It stopped at a blue door. Bram looked worried. "No one goes in there." "Why not?" Olli asked. "It is the playroom." Olli waited. Bram took a small key from his pocket. He held it for a long time. Then he unlocked the door. Dust covered the room. Wooden blocks lay in a basket. A toy boat rested on a shelf. A little drum stood in one corner. On the wall was a picture of a bright yellow sun. The green memory moved to the center of the room. Rain began to tap against the house roof. Tap, tap, tap. The light opened. In the memory, 3 young hedgehogs sat inside the room. Rain fell outside. They could not go out to play. Young Bram entered with a wooden spoon on his head. "I am King Spoon," he cried. The children laughed. Bram marched around the room. He stepped on a toy wheel, slipped, and landed in a basket of blankets. The children laughed even harder. Present-day Bram covered his mouth. "I remember King Spoon," he said. In the memory, the children made paper crowns. They built a castle from chairs and sheets. They ate berry cakes under a table. Rain beat against the roof, but the room felt sunny. Bram sat on the old floor. "We had so much fun," he whispered. "I forgot this was once a happy place too." The green memory touched the little drum. Boom. Bram jumped. Then he smiled. He picked up the drum and gave it a soft beat. Boom, boom. Olli found the wooden spoon under a chair. He placed it on Bram's head. Bram looked at him. "Do I look foolish?" "You look like a king," Olli said. Bram began to laugh. His laugh was rusty at first. It sounded as if it had been sleeping for years, but it soon became warm and full. The green light filled the room. The curtains moved. The dust shone like tiny stars. The memory settled into Bram's heart. That afternoon, Bram opened every curtain in the house. He removed the white sheets from the chairs. He swept the floor and cleared the garden path. Then he wrote 3 letters, one to each of his children. "Will you ask them to visit?" Olli asked. "Yes," Bram said, "and if it rains, King Spoon will be ready." Before Olli left, Bram gave him a little paper crown. Olli wore it over the blue feather. "You look very grand," Bram said. Olli returned to the river. He saw his reflection in the water. A paper crown sat crooked on his head, and a blue feather stuck out behind one ear. The river seemed to laugh. "You carry more than memories now," it said. "I carry gifts," Olli replied. The river became quieter. A deep purple light appeared below the surface. Unlike the other memories, it did not rise. It stayed under the water, caught between 2 dark stones. Olli reached for it. The moment his paw touched the light, he felt a great sadness. He saw a small boat. He heard a storm. Then everything went dark. Olli quickly pulled back. "This memory is afraid," he said. "Its owner has been waiting for a very long time," whispered the river. Chapter 5. The boat under the moon, the purple memory would not leave the bottom of the river. Olli dived down to it. The current pushed at his body. Plants brushed his paws. The light trembled between the dark stones. Olli did not pull it. He rested beside it and waited. Bubbles rose from his nose. At last, the purple memory moved into his paws. It felt cold and heavy. When Olli returned to the surface, the sky was gray. Clouds covered the sun. "Where must I take it?" he asked. The river carried a broken piece of wood toward him. A small moon had been carved into it. Olli followed the current. He traveled all day. He traveled all day. In the evening, the river widened and became very calm. A wooden hut stood close to the bank. A tall heron stood in the shallow water. His feathers were gray and white. One of his wings bent slightly downward. He watched the river without moving. "Are you Rowan?" Olli asked. The heron turned his long head. "I am." Olli showed him the piece of wood with the carved moon. Rowan's eyes widened. "Where did you find that?" "The river brought it to me." Rowan stepped out of the water. "That came from my boat." The purple memory trembled. Rowan saw it and looked away. "Take it somewhere else?" "I think it belongs to you," Olli said. "I do not want it." Olli remembered Tessa and the closed door of the heart. He placed the memory at the river's edge. "You do not have to take it," he said. Rowan returned to the shallow water. Olli sat on the bank. Evening became night. The moon appeared between the clouds. Rowan stayed in the water. Olli stayed on the bank. The purple memory waited between them. At last, Rowan spoke. "I once had a boat named Moonwing." Olli listened. "My friend Sylvan built it with me." Rowan continued. "He was a beaver. He knew everything about wood. I knew almost nothing." "Was the boat good?" Olli asked. "It was terrible." Olli blinked. Rowan gave a small smile. It leaned to one side. Water came through the floor. The sail was too large, but you used it? Every summer. The smile vanished. One night a storm came. Moonwing broke against the rocks. I hurt my wing. Sylvan pulled me from the water. Rowan looked at his bent wing. After that night, I never saw the boat again. Sylvan moved far upriver. I stopped sailing. When I thought of Moonwing, I remembered only the storm. The purple memory became a little warmer. Olli moved it closer to Rowan, but he did not touch him with it. "What happened before the storm?" he asked. Rowan slowly looked at the light. The memory opened. Moonwing floated under a clear night sky. The boat leaned to one side. Water covered the floor. Young Rowan stood at the front. Sylvan the beaver worked at the sail. "We are sinking," Sylvan said. "We are sailing," Rowan replied. "We are doing both." They began to laugh. The boat drifted into a field of waterflowers. Hundreds of white blooms surrounded them. Fireflies filled the air. Rowan and Sylvan lay back in the boat. They watched stars cross the sky. "I had forgotten the flowers," Rowan whispered. In the memory, Sylvan lifted a jar of berry juice. "To Moonwing," he said, "the bravest bad boat on the river." Rowan lifted his own jar. "To Moonwing." The two friends sang a silly song about a fish wearing a hat. Olli laughed when he heard it. Rowan's eyes filled with tears. "All these years I kept the storm," he said. "I lost the stars." The purple light rose. Rowan opened his wings. The memory touched his chest and flowed into him. Its purple color changed to bright silver. The wind moved across the river. Rowan stood taller. "I cannot fly as far as I once could," he said, "but perhaps I can still sail." He walked behind his hut and pulled away an old cloth. Under it was a small new boat. "I began building this many years ago," Rowan said. "I never finished it." Olli touched the smooth wood. "What will you call it?" Rowan looked at the moon. "Moonwing 2." For the next 3 days, Olli stayed with Rowan. They fixed the boat together. Rowan shaped the wood. Olli swam under the boat and found places where water came through. On the 3rd evening, they pushed Moonwing 2 into the river. It leaned a little to one side. "That seems right," Rowan said. They sailed under the moon. There were no white flowers that night. There were no fireflies, but the stars were bright and the river was peaceful. Rowan sang the song about the fish wearing a hat. When Olli left the next morning, Rowan gave him the carved piece of Moonwing. "Keep this," he said. "It will remind you that a hard ending does not erase a happy beginning." Olli placed the wood beside his paper crown and blue feather. Then he slipped into the water. The river carried him home. Chapter 6. Olli's own lost day. When Olli reached his den, his mother was waiting. She ran to the riverbank and wrapped him in her paws. "Olli, where have you been?" "I have been helping the river." His mother looked at the paper crown, the blue feather, and the carved piece of wood. "I can see that you have had a long journey." Olli told her everything. He told her about Mara and the bread. He told her about Tessa and Tomas. He told her about King Spoon and Moonwing. His mother listened without speaking. When Olli finished, she touched his cheek. "I am proud of your kind heart," she said, "but even kind hearts need rest." She made a soft bed of grass near the den entrance. Olli curled up. He expected to fall asleep at once, but the whispers of the river filled his mind. Warm bread, silver bells, rain on a roof, stars above a poor old boat. Olli wondered how many memories were still waiting. He got up. His mother gently placed one paw over his. "The river will still be there after you sleep, but someone may need me, and you will need strength to help them." Olli knew she was right. He closed his eyes. Rain began to fall outside. It made a soft sound on the leaves. Olli slept. In his dream, thousands of colored lights flowed around him. He tried to catch every one. The more he caught, the more appeared. His paws became full. The lights began to fall. "Wait," Olli cried. "I can help all of you." But the current became strong. The river pulled him under. Olli woke with a jump. The rain had stopped. Night had come again. His mother slept beside him. Olli quietly walked to the river. "I cannot carry every memory," he told the water. "No," said the river. "Then how do I choose?" "You do not choose. You listen to the one that reaches you." "What about the others?" They will wait for another listener. Olli felt a little better. Then something strange appeared in the water. A small orange light floated toward him. It smelled of mint leaves and summer mud. Olli touched it. He saw two young otters racing through the river. One was Olli, the other had golden brown fur and a white mark on her nose. Olli pulled his paw away. "I know this memory." "Yes," said the river, "it is mine." The orange light moved around his feet. Olli felt both happy and sad. The other otter was his friend Nemi. They had played together every day when they were young. They built mud towers. They raced leaves. They shared fish under the willow tree. Then Nemi's family moved away. At first, Olli had watched for her every morning. She never returned. Slowly, he stopped waiting. He stopped sitting under the willow tree. He forgot many of their games. "I thought I remembered everything," Olli said. "No one remembers everything," the river replied. The orange light showed a warm summer day. Olli and Nemi had found a smooth piece of wood. They used it as a river board. They stood on it together and tried to float. The board turned over at once. Both otters fell into the mud. When they came up, Nemi had a green leaf on her head. Olli had mud on his nose. They laughed so hard that they could not climb out of the water. Olli smiled. "I remember that." The picture changed. Under the willow tree, Nemi gave Olli a small white stone. "If we are ever far apart," she said, "hold this stone and remember our best day." Olli's smile disappeared. "The stone," he whispered. He ran back to the den. Near his bed was a small hole where he kept special things. He dug through shells, feathers, and smooth pieces of glass. At the bottom, he found a white stone. Olli held it in both paws. "I forgot why I kept it." The orange memory floated into the den. Its light joined the stone. All at once, Olli remembered the whole day. "I forgot why I kept it." A tear rolled down his face. His mother woke. "What is wrong?" she asked. "I found a happy memory, but it makes me miss Nemi." His mother held him close. "A happy memory can bring sadness with it," she said. "That does not make the memory bad. Why do they come together?" "Because love leaves a space when someone goes away. The space may hurt, but it also shows that the love was real." The orange light entered Olli's heart. It did not remove his sadness. Instead, it made the sadness feel gentle. Olli sat beside his mother until dawn. Then he took a flat piece of bark and scratched a message onto it with a sharp stone. "Dear Nemi, I still have the white stone. I remember our best day. I hope you remember it too. Your friend Olli." He placed the message in the river. "Can you carry this to her?" he asked. "I carry many things," the river said. "I will try." The bark floated away. Olli watched until it disappeared around a bend. He now understood the owners of the lost memories better. Sometimes people forgot because they were busy. Sometimes they forgot because they were old. And sometimes they forgot because remembering felt too painful. Olli touched the white stone. He would still help the river. Now he knew that every memory had to be held with great care. Chapter 7. The village without a song summer slowly turned toward autumn. The leaves changed to yellow. Red berries appeared on bushes. Cool mist rested above the river each morning. Olli continued to return memories. He brought the memory of a first nest to an old robin. He gave a fox the memory of dancing with her sisters in a field. He helped a farmer remember the day his tired old horse had won a race. Each memory was different. Some arrived as bright lights. Some came inside shells or drops of rain. One hid inside the sound of a kettle. Then, one evening, the river called Olli in a voice louder than before. "Come quickly." Olli hurried to the bank. The water was full of silver mist. Inside the mist, he heard many voices singing the same song. "Is this one memory?" he asked. "It belongs to many." The mist moved toward the village. Olli followed. He found the villagers gathered in the town square. Mara the baker was there. Bram had come with two of his children. Tessa and Tomas stood near the fountain. Everyone looked worried. "What happened?" Olli asked. Mara pointed to the clock tower. "Tonight is the autumn lantern night," she said. "Every year we sing the river song when the moon rises. But no one remembers the words," Bram added. "We remember the first line," said Tessa, "and part of the last," Tomas said. A group of children tried to sing. "River bright and river long," they stopped. "That is all we know," one child said. The old villagers shook their heads. The young villagers had never learned the whole song. Without it, they believed the lantern night could not begin. Olli looked at the silver mist. The song was hidden inside it. "Why did everyone forget?" he asked the river. The river whispered through the village fountain. "A shared memory fades when people believe someone else will keep it." Olli carried the mist into the square. "We can bring it back," he said. "How?" asked Mara. "By listening together." The villagers formed a circle. Olli placed the silver mist in the center. "Close your eyes," he told them. "Think about the river. Think about a day when it brought you joy." The square became quiet. Mara thought of washing flour from Lila's hair at the riverbank. Bram thought of his children sailing toy boats through the reeds. Tessa and Tomas thought of crossing the frozen river together. One by one, other villagers remembered. A shared memory fades when people believe someone else will keep it. A fisherman remembered his first catch. A child remembered learning to swim. An old dog remembered sleeping beside the water on a warm day. The silver mist began to glow. A single note rose from it. Then came another. Mara opened her eyes. "I remember the next line." She sang in a soft voice, "River bright and river long, carry home our evening song." Bram joined her. "Past the willow, past the stone, guide each wandering heart back home." The villagers gasped. More words returned. The song moved around the circle. Each person remembered a small part. An old rabbit knew the middle. A young mouse knew the tune. Tessa remembered a high note that everyone else had missed. Soon the whole village was singing, "River bright and river long, carry home our evening song. Past the willow, past the stone, guide each wandering heart back home. Hold our laughter, hold our tears, keep them safe through passing years. Under moon and under sun, many streams shall flow as one. When we travel, when we roam, whisper of the path to home. River gentle, river strong, carry still our grateful song." The silver mist rose above the square. It broke into hundreds of shining drops. One drop touched every villager. The clock bell rang. Lanterns were lit. There were lanterns shaped like stars, fish, birds, and flowers. The villagers carried them to the river. They placed the lights on the water. The river carried them slowly through the night. Olli walked beside Mara. A younger woman stood with her. "This is my daughter, Lila," Mara said. Lila smiled and showed Olli a loaf of bread shaped like a river snake. "It is almost as bad as the first one," she said proudly. Bram's children wore paper crowns. They called to him from a small wooden castle near the square. Tessa and Tomas rang their bells with the music. Rowan arrived in Moonwing too. Sylvan the beaver stood beside him in the boat. They had found each other again. Olli looked at all the happy faces. The memories he had returned had become new moments of joy. The river spoke softly beneath the music. A happy memory is not only a light from the past. "What else is it?" Olli asked. "It is a seed. When it returns, it can grow into new happiness." Olli watched the lanterns float away. He understood. The river returned them so they could carry love into the days ahead. Chapter 8. The Memory Thief After Lantern Night. Stories about Olli spread across the valley. Animals came from distant woods to ask for his help. Villagers left small gifts near his den. There were baskets of berries, warm scarves, bright feathers, and many kinds of bread. Olli was glad that others cared about the river's memories, but not everyone understood them. High on the northern hill lived a magpie named Vea. Vea loved shining things. Her nest was filled with buttons, glass, silver spoons, beads, and coins. When she heard about the glowing memories, she became very interested. "They must be the finest treasures in the valley," she said. One night, Vea flew down to the river. She saw a pink memory rise from the water. It held the joy of a baby's first steps. Vea quickly caught it in a glass jar, the light twisted inside. Vea carried it to her nest. Soon she returned for another, then another. She caught a gold memory, a blue memory, and 2 green ones. She placed them all on a shelf. Her nest became brighter than the stars. The next morning, Olli knew something was wrong. The river sounded weak. "What happened?" he asked. "Some memories have been taken. Who took them?" "Follow the light that does not move." Olli climbed the northern hill. At the top he saw Vea's tree. Strange colors shone between its branches. Olli climbed carefully. He found Vea sitting proudly among the jars. "Look at my collection," she said. "No one else has treasures like these." Olli saw the memories pressing against the glass. "They are not treasures," he said. "They belong to someone." "They are pretty," Vea replied. "I found them, so they are mine. You did not find them. You trapped them." Vea spread her wings. "I will not give them back." Olli knew he could not force her. He also could not reach all the jars before she stopped him, so he sat on a branch. "What do you feel when you touch them?" he asked. Vea looked pleased. "Warmth, music, laughter." "Whose laughter?" "I do not know." "How does the memory end?" Vea frowned. "The lights do not show me everything." "That is because they are not yours." Vea looked at the jars. A pink light pushed against the glass. "What happens if I keep them?" she asked. "The people who lost them may never remember, and the memories will slowly become dim." Vea stared at her collection. One of the green lights was already fading. For the first time she looked worried. "I only wanted beautiful things." Olli looked around the nest. "Why do you collect so much?" Vea moved a silver button with her beak. "My nest feels empty without them." "Do the things make you happy for a little while? And then?" "I need more." Olli nodded. "Perhaps you are trying to fill your nest when something else feels empty." Vea became quiet. A small gray feather lay under the jars. It was old and bent. Vea picked it up carefully. "It belonged to my mother," she said. "She used to bring me blue beads. After she was gone, I began collecting everything that shone." "Do you have a happy memory of her?" "I once did." Olli listened. Vea looked toward the river. "She taught me to fly. I was afraid to leave the nest. She flew beside me, but I cannot remember what she said." A small light appeared far below. It rose from the river, passed through the trees, and entered Vea's nest. It was white, with a blue center. Vea gasped, "My memory." Olli did not touch it. The light moved to Vea. Inside it, a young magpie stood at the edge of a nest. Her wings shook. Her mother waited in the air. "What if I fall?" young Vea asked. "You may fall a little," her mother replied. "Then your wings will remember what to do?" Young Vea jumped. For one breathless moment she dropped. Then her wings opened. She flew. Her mother circled her under the bright blue sky. "You carry the open sky inside you," she said. "You do not need to hold it in your nest." Vea began to cry. The white memory entered her heart. Vea began to cry. "I have been keeping other hearts empty because mine felt empty. I have been keeping other hearts empty because mine felt empty." She opened the first jar. The pink memory flew out, then she opened the others. Gold, blue, and green lights filled the branches. They circled Olli and Vea before flying toward the river. "I am sorry," Vea said. "Help us return them," Olli replied. Together they followed the lights. The pink memory belonged to a father who had forgotten his daughter's first steps. The gold one belonged to a squirrel who had shared a perfect winter meal with his friends. The blue one held a lullaby. The green ones carried 2 sisters' memories of a secret garden. Vea helped Olli return every memory. After that day, she stopped taking things that did not belong to her. She kept a few special objects in her nest, including her mother's feather. But she gave many of her collected items back to their owners. Sometimes she still wanted to gather every bright thing she saw. When that happened, she flew high above the valley. There, she remembered her mother's words. She carried the open sky inside her. It was more beautiful than anything she could trap in a jar. Chapter 9. When the river fell, silent winter came early that year. Cold wind crossed the valley, frost covered the grass, thin ice formed along the riverbanks. Olli's fur kept him warm, but even he did not stay in the water for long. One morning he went to listen to the river. He heard nothing. There were no whispers, there were no glowing memories. The water moved, but its voice was gone. "River?" Olli called. No answer came. He walked upstream. He found branches and stones blocking part of the water. A winter storm had pushed them into a narrow place. Olli began to clear them. He pulled away sticks. He rolled small stones. He dug through mud until his paws became sore. Still the river did not speak. Vea saw him working and flew down. "What is wrong?" "The river is silent." "I will get help," she said. Soon many friends arrived. Rowan and Sylvan moved heavy wood. Tessa and Tomas pushed stones with their strong heads. Bram and his children cleared the small channels. Mara brought warm bread for everyone. They worked until sunset. At last the water flowed freely again, but the river remained silent. Olli sat on the bank. "I do not understand." We cleared the path. Sylvan studied the water. "Perhaps the block is farther upstream." The next morning, the friends began a journey toward the river's beginning. They walked for 2 days. The hills grew steep. Snow covered the ground. The river became narrow and fast. At last, they reached a high valley between the mountains. There they found the true problem. A great wall of ice covered the spring where the river began. Water could still escape beneath it, but only in a thin stream. Olli placed a paw on the ice. It was as hard as stone. "We cannot break this," Bram said. Tessa pushed it. The ice did not move. Rowan struck it with a piece of wood. The wood broke. Everyone looked at Olli. He closed his eyes and listened. Very far below the ice, he heard a weak whisper. "Too cold." "The river is still there," he said. "But something has frozen its voice." Mara lit a small fire. The friends warmed stones and placed them near the ice. They worked all day, but the wall barely changed. That night they slept together under a rock ledge. Olli could not rest. He wondered if he had failed the river. He took out the white stone Nemi had given him. He held it close. Then he heard a soft splash. A young otter stood near the narrow stream. She had golden-brown fur and a white mark on her nose. "Olli?" she said. He stared at her. "Nemi?" She ran to him. They hugged, laughed, and spoke at the same time. "Your message found me," Nemi said. "The river carried it all the way to my home." "How did you find us here?" "The river is silent where I live too. I followed it upstream." Olli showed her the wall of ice. Nemi touched it. "It is made from forgotten sadness," she said. "Sadness also needs a voice." "How do you know?" "My grandmother told me about such ice. When too many sad feelings are hidden and no one speaks of them, they can gather at the river's source." "How can we melt it?" asked Olli. "With shared warmth," Nemi said. "Not only the warmth of fire, we must share true memories." The friends gathered before the ice. Mara spoke first. "I remember feeling lonely after Leila left. I hid the feeling and worked every day. I thought being busy would make it disappear." A crack appeared in the ice. Bram spoke next. "I was afraid my children no longer needed me, so I closed my house and pretended I did not need them." Another crack formed. Tessa said, "I missed my brother, but I was also angry that he went away." Tomas lowered his head. "I was ashamed that I stayed away for so long." The ice began to drip. Rowan spoke of his fear after the storm. Vea spoke of the empty place left by her mother. One by one, everyone shared a sadness they had hidden. At last, Olli stepped forward. "I try to help every memory," he said, "but sometimes I am afraid I will not be good enough. I fear that I will arrive too late." Nemi held his paw. "You do not have to carry the whole river alone," she said. A bright crack ran across the wall. Nemi spoke too. "I wanted to return after we moved away, but I worried that Olli had forgotten me. I was afraid to send a message." The ice gave a deep sigh. Then it broke. Clear water burst from the spring. It flowed around their feet and rushed down the mountain. The river's voice returned. At first, it was only a whisper. Then it became strong and clear. Thank you. Warm light filled the water. The friends laughed as the river flowed past them. Olli now understood something important. Happy memories needed care. But sadness also needed a voice. When sadness was hidden for too long, it could freeze even the warmest heart. When it was shared with kindness, it could begin to melt. The friends returned to the valley. Nemi came with them. At the old willow tree, she and Olli found their riverboard. It was cracked and covered with moss. Do you think it still floats? Nemi asked. No, Olli said. They looked at each other. Let us try. They placed it in the water and climbed on. The board turned over at once. Olli came up with mud on his nose. Nemi came up with a green leaf on her head. Their laughter drifted along the river. It was an old joy and a new joy at the same time. Chapter 10. The keeper who learned to rest years passed gently through the valley. Olli grew from a curious young otter into a wise river keeper. He never called himself that. He still said, "I only listen." But everyone knew that he understood the river better than anyone else. Nemi stayed in the valley. Together, they made a home. They had grass beds, shelves for shells, and safe places for special gifts. The blue feathers stood in a clay cup. King Spoon's paper crown was kept in a wooden box. The carved piece of moonwing hung above the door. Nemi's white stone rested beside Olli's bed. Olli continued to return forgotten memories, but he no longer tried to carry every light by himself. Vea watched from the sky. Rowan carried them by boat. Children learned to listen in the rain. Others listened in bells and wind. Even the village children helped. They knew 3 important rules. Listen with kindness. Never force a memory. Give it time. Mara became too old to work in the bakery every day. Leela took her place. Their river snake bread became famous, though it was still shaped very badly. Bram's house was never quiet again. His grandchildren filled the rooms. On rainy days, someone always wore the wooden spoon. Rowan and Sylvan built many boats. Each one leaned a little to one side because Rowan said that perfect boats had no sense of humor. Vea became the valley's message carrier. She brought letters to animals and people who lived far away. Every year, the village celebrated Lantern Night. They sang the river song and placed lights on the water. No one allowed the song to be forgotten again. One quiet night, long after the lanterns had faded from view, Olli sat on his favorite stone. The moon was full and golden, just as it had been on the first night he heard the river speak. Nemi slept peacefully in their home. The valley was still. Olli lowered one paw into the water. He heard thousands of whispers. A birthday cake, a first flight, a warm scarf, a dance under falling leaves, a baby bird opening its eyes, a family gathered beside a fire. There would always be forgotten memories. Olli felt tired. What if my ears become too old to hear you? He asked. The river moved around his stone. Then others will listen. What if they do not understand? You will teach them. What if one day everyone forgets me? The river became very gentle. No kind act is fully lost, it said. A kindness moves from one heart to another. It may change its shape, but it keeps flowing. A small amber light appeared in the water. Olli smiled. Another memory? Yes. Whose is it? Yours. Olli touched the light. He saw himself as a young otter stepping out of his den. He saw the golden moon and the silver path across the river. He climbed onto the flat stone. He heard the water whisper for the very first time. Warm bread, a yellow kitchen, flour on a little nose. Olli laughed softly. I remember this. Some return to remind us how far we have come, said the river. Love does not disappear when a moment ends. The amber light showed his whole journey. Mara laughing in the kitchen, Tessa finding her brother, Bram wearing the wooden spoon, Rowan sailing beneath the stars, Nemi standing beside the stream in the mountains. Olli saw every door that had opened. He heard every laugh that had returned. Then the memory showed things Olli had not seen. It showed Mara and Leela teaching a child to bake. It showed Bram's grandchildren building a new paper castle. It showed a traveler hearing the river song and carrying it to another valley. It showed a little otter finding one of Vea's messages and deciding to answer it. The kindness had continued. The amber light rested against Olli's heart. "Thank you," he whispered. The river carried the light away, but its warmth remained. Olli climbed down from the stone. Before he returned home, he looked across the quiet valley. Windows glowed with soft yellow light. Trees moved slowly under the stars. The river curved through the land, carrying water, moonlight, songs, letters, and memories. Olli understood that he did not have to stay awake all night. The river would keep flowing while he slept. Other kind hearts would listen. Tomorrow there would be more work, but tomorrow did not need him yet. Olli entered his warm home. Nemi opened one sleepy eye. "Did the river need you?" she asked. "For a little while. Is everything well?" Olli curled up beside her. "Yes," he said. "Everything is flowing." Outside, the reeds swayed in the night wind. The frogs sang their slow songs. The moon left a silver path across the water. As Olli closed his eyes, he heard the river whisper one final memory. It was the sound of a safe home. It was the warmth of a friend nearby. It was the deep peace of knowing that love does not disappear when a moment ends. Love becomes a story. The story becomes a memory. And the memory waits, bright and patient, until a gentle heart is ready to hear it. Olli breathed in. Olli breathed out. The river flowed past the willow tree, around the village, and toward distant hills. It carried old joys and new hopes beneath the stars, and whenever a happy memory became lost, the river held it carefully. It never hurried. It never forgot. It simply whispered into the soft night, "Come home, come home, come home." And under the golden moon, Olli slept. The end.